Let's jump into the weekend for the Memphis Grizzlies. 2 games over the weekend. The first beating the Washington Wizards 128-104. Last night, it was an absolute beatdown of the Trailblazers and a rematch of the NCAA title game between Zach Edey and Donovan Clingan. Edey with a little hook over the shoulder there, and the defense out of this world in this game. 15 steals led to 29 points off turnovers. The Grizzlies had 13 blocks, including 6 huff stuffs, 7 players in double figures, led by Jaren Jackson Jr., who had 20 points and 7 boards. Grizzlies won it 134-89, their 3rd win in a row. Caleb, my man, what can you say about this Grizzlies team after this weekend?
Man, they caught the Blazers with their pants down. The Blazers looked all over the place. We were talking about it earlier. This Blazers team has not had a great start to the season. And look, the Grizzlies don't care. They're going to come out and take advantage of it. They don't have Ja. Jaren's had 59 points in the last 2 games. He looked really solid. But it was really a group effort last night with Aldama getting 16, SPJ getting 17, and then Wells 16. Wells has looked really impressive starting. Overall, I think that this team is buying into this new offense.
Yeah.
And you
Definitely
really see that. I feel like we heard a lot about the new offense at the start of the season, and it was struggling a little bit, and the guys looked gassed, which is why we saw a lot of third-quarter comebacks. Mm-hmm. And now they're able to kind of conserve their energy, and it's not just them. It's the coaching staff that's learning how to adapt these rotations to them. And Huff's been a big part of that rotation coming in, and I think that this team, even without Ja, is very, very dangerous and a little bit underestimated. I think that if you look at the last 2 games, both teams have underestimated the Grizzlies a little bit. But they were all over the place last night defensively, in a good way.
Yeah.
They were all up
in a way we probably maybe haven't seen nearly as much as we would like.
Yeah, I mean, they were blitzing guys like Klingman like it was a playoff game. Yeah, it was like how the Warriors were blitzing Tatum the other night. I was like, oh, man, y'all are going after it. Why not? But if you can blow out a team like that, it also does a lot for the team's confidence, too. Especially look at a guy like Jalen Wells, and all of a sudden he's playing D2, the D1, and now he's blowing out teams in the NBA. It's awesome. It's a little bit concerning that Edey hasn't started in the last 2, though.
Yeah, I think when we talked to Taylor Jenkins earlier in the season, or what I've seen from DeMichael Cole actually tweeted out that some of it's going to be just trying to get a feel for some of these rotations early on in the season. Some of it's going to be matchup based. And I think what we kind of saw in this particular game was we wanted Zach Edey to pair up with Donovan Clingan. They kind of matched minutes a lot in this particular game, and I think some of that maybe been a little personal, knowing their history
probably.
And what Grizzlies fans maybe wanted initially. I don't know that Taylor Jenkins plays into any of that, but they certainly have a history, so I can see a world where Zach Edey wanted to probably be more head-to-head, and there really wasn't a banger like that for the Blazers, and so you maybe needed Zach Edey to match up more so with Donovan Clingan than Rob Williams in that particular game.
That's a good
their
point.
Defense as a group was incredible last night. Like you said, they were swarming. 15 steals that leads to almost 30 points off turnovers is something that's going to win you a lot of ball games. And really, anytime you can get 7 different guys to score in double figures, you're going to win a lot of ball games, whether you have your superstar in the game or not. And so really an impressive game from them. And I think it's almost you have to be measured, right? Because they won 3 in a row. One of them was against a Lakers team we think is going to be in a play-in situation at least.
Yeah.
The other 2, talking about the Wizards, and you're talking about the Blazers, who are 3-8. So you take it with a grain of salt, certainly, but you're not going to complain about wins. Like you said, they don't care that they're not having the greatest start to the season. The Blazers aren't going to have a great season anyway. So those are your scheduled wins, and you got to win your scheduled wins on the schedule. Let's talk about, though, what's going on with Ja Morant, because we did get a Grizzlies update on his health situation. While this is the statement they gave out this weekend, while attempting to catch a lob during the 3rd quarter of the November 6th game against the Los Angeles Lakers, Morant was destabilized midair by a Lakers player, causing him to fall into extreme right hip flexion. Imaging revealed a posterior hip subluxation without dislocation, along with multiple associated grade 1 pelvic muscle strains. Morant is considered week to week, and updates will be provided as appropriate. So now that we've come out of that statement, I will don my white coat, because those are a lot of medical school words that I am not used to saying and probably will never say again. But the good news we got out of that update is that Morant is looks like week to week. No, he missed any serious injuries, and that's going to be an important part for this team.
Yeah, I think I was destabilized in midair every single time I tried to jump in any sports that I ever played. Never really got the timing down when they're trying to out-jump someone. But yeah, it's all jokes aside, it's really good to see. Week to week, we saw him on crutches talking to Valanciunas, and then
we saw crutches, we were like, oh,
yeah,
crap.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
This is going to start again. No, it seems like it's going to be okay. And Ja has been in the NBA long enough. He knows how to deal with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
They have professionals that deal with this, right? And so I don't think it's too concerning. It's also, if you're going to get injured, let it be now and before, let it be before February, or before December. Don't let it be later in the season. I think that's okay. I will be concerned a little bit if I see him come back and he's played 3 games and he's kind of,
favoring it a little bit
and not looking like he's 100% and, still coming out and saying, no, it's not bothering me or whatever, because he wants to play. He has showed us that he wants to play. And he'll play injured, it seems like, if he has to, and the Grizzlies do not want that, and they won't let him play injured right now at this point in the season, right?
So right now, I think as you're playing really well as a group, especially in this 3-game stretch that they do have the 3 wins in a row. Seeing Ja Morant injured is obviously never fun, and I think it is concerning because you can't get the chemistry and the synergy that you want with this particular group. When we talked to this team over the summertime, it was, oh, everybody's healthy. We're going to go into the season healthy. Everybody's good. And then, they kind of just start dropping like flies again. And for the team, I think it's great because we're seeing the depth that they have. And, we get Jalen Wells coming in, and he's putting up double-digit points as a rookie in the starting lineup in the last couple of games. You get a Jay Huff, who has been a absolute revelation through these first 10 games of the season. We were worried they're going to be in a situation where maybe they start the season 3-7 or 4-6.
Yeah, that's true.
And they start the season 6-4, and you're considering that really a win. And Jaren Jackson Jr. has been sensational, kind of leading this group through a lot of these injuries. And you gotta believe this is something that he's now used to, because he had to do it all of last season with Desmond Bane missing the end of the season, Ja Morant missing the end of the season, Marcus Smart also missed the end of the season. So he's used to kind of carrying the team on his back. But I think what we're noticing is all that time that Scottie Pippen Jr. got last year has become so important, because you need him to be able to lead the ship. Captain the ship when Ja Morant is not in the game, and it's even worse when your secondary ball handler is not there. So shout out to what this group has been able to do in the early part of the season, because it was getting scary and hairy when you see all these guys going out again. And what we have seen is most of them have avoided major injuries, right? Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, and Ja Morant are all considered week to week. Smart got upgraded to doubtful for the Trailblazers game, so it's probably pretty likely that we'll see him again here in the coming weeks. But could see him again here against the Lakers, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. We were saying it kind of took the fire out of it. But, Bane doesn't like the Lakers either. So day to day, maybe he comes back. That's one that Bane has circled, definitely, that he wants to come back.
So let's talk about circling. It's kind of funny because it feels like we've come full circle with the Grizzlies.
Yep.
Over on the last show, we talked about the Grizz coming off the big win against LA, and you had all the headlines like Ja Morant saying he doesn't like them, and now some of the steam has maybe been taken out of this upcoming matchup on Wednesday, but because he's not going to play in this game. And this Grizzlies-Lakers rivalry has become something that we really enjoy watching, especially because it seems like we get something spicy out of it in every single game.
Right.
And now it's just kind of really disappointing because, we're not going to say it's going to be a loss, right? They're going to LA. They got to play in LA's house, but it just kind of stinks because you need the stars on the floor for these particular games, because I don't want to hear the Lakers come back and potentially get a win in that one, and they're talking all this smack, and it's like, okay, well, we didn't have Ja, we didn't have Desmond Bane, and then it becomes a best of 3, regular season series at that point.
Oh, yeah. LeBron's going to be on one on Wednesday night.
39 the last game?
Yeah, in his home crowd, he's going to be wanting even more. And I'm also interested, what's Bronny going to tweet after the game, or what's he going to put on Instagram after the last game?
He tweeted out, for those that hadn't seen, Bronny James tweeted out the LeBron too small over Ja on social media last time. So it will be interesting to see how much that plays into it, see if he gets any more playing time against the Lakers or against the Grizzlies.
It looks like AD is going to play, so you're going to have a similar situation where that we kind of had against Portland, where you're going to have to play Edey in certain matchups. I do want to see how he looks against AD. And you saw against the Wizards that he's got a little bit of a dog in him.
Yeah.
When Valanciunas put a little elbow in his side, and Edey says, "I don't play that.
Yeah,
I'm not messing around."
And he had a little confrontation last night that he blocks the last shot of the game for the Trailblazers. Then him and Banton are kind of getting into it in that. So what we're seeing from him is he's got a little attitude. He's not just this quiet giant.
No,
I think he's got some of that attitude that Steven Adams had. He sets the tone in a certain ways, and he's drawing some of that from Ja, right? And the way Ja doesn't take no mess from anybody. But I like what I'm seeing from the big man from that perspective of just being able to not let it. He's 7'4", so you don't think anybody's going to bully him necessarily, but he ain't taking no mess from nobody either.
Well, I mean, we've seen it in the past. If you go out and set the tone physically early against AD, you can get in AD's head a little bit. He's still coming back from an injury. So, yeah, this could be a huge confidence booster. You go in there and get 12 against AD, why not? Go 5 of 8, get to the line a little bit, talk a little bit of trash with the brow. Like, why not?
If you can get AD in foul trouble, that would actually be a monumental win for the Grizzlies, and not vice versa, because we know Anthony Davis is going to attack him in those first few possessions. Yeah. If he does start on Wednesday and gets 2 fouls in the first quarter, I wouldn't even say the first quarter, first 5 minutes, because we've seen that happen with some Grizzlies bigs, it could spell some trouble for the Lakers.
It's funny because
for the Grizzlies against the Lakers.
In practice, they're probably like, all right, AD, well, you got to see this guy Jay Huff. We're going to show you his film. And AD's like, I don't care, man. What are you talking about? And then the first 10 minutes of the game, Jay Huff's going to come in, do some crazy block, and then the reverse dunk he does.
Going to lead to a dunk on the other end.
Who is this guy? He's like trying to figure out if he's American or not.
Right.
Like who is this guy?
So, I mean, what we're going to see with Anthony Davis in particular, if he does play on Wednesday, is he has the finesse and the speed that I think Jay Huff has, especially on the perimeter, but he has the physicality that Zach Edey has on the opposite end. So we're going to have to see which one of those gets employed more in a matchup with the Grizzlies. I think this is going to be a game where we could, if they can shut down Anthony Davis, they win that game.
I mean, not many teams at this point in the season could say that they have two guys like Huff and Edey, which we didn't think we'd be sitting here saying.
And Jaren, of course.
And Jaren, of course. I mean, Jaren's going to do his thing roving, but that's more of what we want to see him do. In all likelihood, and when push comes to shove, Jaren is going to be guarding AD because that's what we've seen in the past. That's just how it is. But in certain sets, that's what we're going to see with Huff and Edey. But a lot of teams don't have this type of depth in the big man position. You have a couple across the league, but it's very important to have in today's NBA, and the Grizzlies are milking it so far.
Certainly going to be able to throw bodies at Anthony Davis, of course. So that game is on Wednesday, and we'll see what the Grizzlies are able to do out in